Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Batman issue 50. This is the wedding issue from the Rebirth storyline. I don't know why it's called the wedding issue, as you'll see, because I'm going to ruin this book for you, because it was awful. This was a tragic mess of proportions I cannot begin to describe. This was written by Tom King, colors by June Chung, art and cover by Mikhail Janin, with a lot of other people doing pinup art in here. So there's a real simplistic story in here, and that's Batman and Catwoman decide to have the wedding on a rooftop, which is dumb. They're not getting married as their regular personas, they're getting married as their superhero identities, but in plain clothes. Okay, that's stupid. Catwoman is getting Holly Robinson out of Arkham Asylum. Holly is someone that Batman saved early in his career, and interspersed throughout this are little vignettes of things that happened, like we see Batman and Catwoman fighting Tweedledee and Tweedledum, but there's also these big one-page spreads with all this little text caption boxes where they've written letters to each other like teenage girls. In the meantime, Catwoman and Batman are each preparing for the wedding. They each need a witness. Catwoman has Holly Robinson, and Batman just randomly chooses Alfred. So he's just like, alright, well, you're here, and then, maybe Tim Drake was busy or something. And they're getting ready and all that, and then we get this interspersed poetry crap, and then they decide to kind of move things along. They go to the site, but Holly is talking to Catwoman and saying, oh, if he's happy, can he really be Batman? Which is the same thing Joker said previously. So when Batman gets up to Finger Tower, because all these places are named after people that worked on the Bat books, like she's at Kane Plaza and he's at Finger Tower, and she doesn't show up, so Batman just jumps off the building, and that's where the issue ends. It looks like he committed suicide. Is this the last Batman book to ever be made? Like, did he just commit suicide? The world may never know. And he went in plain clothes with a judge who may be drunk, but he took Alfred with him. And I don't understand, they did this thing several times throughout the series so far, where they're using their real world names while in costume fighting bad guys. And Batman's talking to Alfred, who should have a code name by now. He keeps saying Alfred, so everybody knows that he's got somebody named Alfred. How many people named Alfred are there in the city? That would be pretty easy to figure out. But everybody seems to know Batman's identity anyway. But the trick is, and this big spoiler alert, because most of this story was already spoiled by the New York Times, this whole thing was really a plan by Bane and several other Arkham inmates, including the Joker, the Riddler, some guy that looks like Thomas Wayne from an alternate universe, Hugo Strange, the ventriloquist, and some other people that I don't really care about, a bunch of minor leaguers. The poetry thing where they're writing this letter, oh my gosh, it was horrible. It was so bad. It was like I think Tom King must be related to or know a 12-year-old goth girl with depression issues, because it read so cheesy like that. Like, I understand you went to a goth night and you like sad, lonely girls, but wow. Oh man, what a mess. This was just so poorly written. And not only is it a massive slap in the face, because they've been hyping this wedding for a year. I don't understand why you would turn around and backhand your readers like this. This was just straight up insulting. It was horribly written, and this epilogue felt very thrown together. Like, oh, suddenly now it's a plan by Bane. Okay, whatever. And the fact that they leaked it to the New York Times and let them ruin the issue before it even came out tells you exactly how much DC cares about its fan base. They totally pulled all the wind out of the sails of this issue and the motivation to buy it, because now you know it was just another trick, the same thing that the X-Men did. It was just a slap in your face. They have no respect for you as a reader. They have no respect for the characters, and they think that Batman can't exist while being happy. First of all, that's stupid, because fighting crime makes him happy, and he can do that in other ways. He doesn't have to be Batman. You can be Batman in different ways. He could let Dick take over and be an advisor or something. He had been married before in the 70s when they did these stories of like Earth 1, Earth 2. On Earth 1, Batman was married and was married to Batwoman. So this has been done before, and they built this up only to turn around and slap you in the face with it and say, haha, sucker. To me, this is sort of the DC version of what Nick Spencer did to Captain America, because they promised you something new and different and then made it new and different in a bad way. I think this was very, very insulting to the fans, and I think that Tom King should be fired for a litany of reasons. This kind of rude stunt is exactly why people are walking away from comics. The writing was terrible, the plotting was terrible, the ending was ridiculously stupid, the epilogue was just as dumb, and it shows a fundamental misunderstanding of the character, and for what I paid to read it, nothing happened. Literally nothing happened for $5. What a waste of money. I am not going to buy another Tom King Batman book, and I'm going to, once Mr. Miracle is done and I'm caught up on that, I may drop that one even. I'm probably never going to read another Tom King book, because not only is he boring, it's insulting the way he treats the fans doing a stunt like this, because this was sheerly a cash grab. They produced all these miniseries and extra books about this, and it just doesn't happen. They just randomly decide we're not going to do this because we don't want Batman being happy. So you picked up all those Prelude books, like I did, which I regretted instantly upon reading them, but you bought all those Prelude books, and they were $4 each, and then they pulled this nonsense, and then it doesn't even happen? That's insulting. I don't know what Detective Comics are like right now. Maybe I'll read that. I could get caught up on that. I've got a stack of them here I haven't read yet. But the main Batman book? No, this is ridiculous. This is a slap in your face. This is an insult to the fans that were loyal and bought every issue leading up to the wedding, all the tie-ins. You know what, DC? Not only is that rude and insulting, it's a great way to ruin your business and make sales go down. I hope people protest this. I'm not going to buy Batman 51. I had put it on my list, but I'm going to take it off now. I'm not going to buy another Batman book as long as Tom King is on the book. This is just over the edge. This is way too much. They've gone way too far with it. He's written a terrible, terrible Batman, and this is just the capstone on this monumental failure of a title and a writer. I don't know what Tom King's thinking. I don't know what DC's thinking by approving this after all the tie-ins. This is insulting, and I'm not going to support this anymore. That being said, that's just my take on it. As always, thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing so you don't miss future episodes. If you want to help the channel out, Patreon link is in the description, and we hope to see you on the next one.